where I'm going to sew up my seam, because you've got to create a seam allowance for that zipper to sit into that seam. So I usually come up, some zippers have a little metal going across here. This one doesn't particularly, it's just got a clear little plastic. I don't like that showing in my garments. So I'm going to measure up just 1 centimetre above that point. And I'm going to sew from there to there. So I do that with my ordinary foot, my standard foot that comes with the machine. And I'm going to guide my seam along my throat plate. I've got some measurements there. So in dressmaking, it's always normally 1.5 seam allowance. Stretch wear will have a 6mm seam allowance. So I'm just going to use my reverse, lock the stitch so it doesn't come undone. I'm going to sew up to that point. Reverse, lock the stitch because you don't want that seam coming undone. And then I'm going to attach my zipper foot. So it's a foot that has two sides to it. So you've got a left and a right. Attach my standard foot. Now I haven't talked about moving your needle positions as yet, but we'll do that next.
So it's a different foot. What number is that foot?
On a Janome, on a brother it will be I.
I.
On a Janome I think it's E. Yep.
I. So this is the one.
That's it. Yep. So I'm going to move my needle across because Benina always has a centre needle position to start off with, and then I'm going to move that. Sorry, wrong one.
Yeah, the one above.
So I'm just going to move it out. Make sure it's not hitting my foot, otherwise you'll break a needle. So you're going to open your seam. So when you are dressmaking, ironing is part of dressmaking. You go to the iron board. On this one you don't need to. Open up the seam and you press it. You press right up to the top, because whatever you do to help you in the beginning, the process gives you an excellent outcome of your finish. So I'm going to iron that down as well, because what we want, that zipper to sit into there. So we've created a seam allowance and we want the zip to take its place now. So I place my zipper, and it's usually, this is called a lapped zipper, so it's going to sit over, and we want to get it so that the actual coils, the zipper teeth, are right underneath that seam. And at this stage I'm going to just temporarily baste that in. So I've got right side of zip to the right side of my garment, and it's the left hand side that gets attached first. So remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Remember, left side needs to be stitched first. Men, on the other hand, stitch on the right.
Is it a different look at the end? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it is. So men's tailored trousers just look totally different.
Different.
Yeah. So I'm going to move my needle across to the other side, because I want the bulk of the foot to be away from my seam, so that I'm not having to fight trying to keep that seam in line. So precision, every millimetre is accounted for. I'm just going to open that, it's bothering that start off thing.